Hey, I'm back and I'm into games that I can record again. I've been kind of into games that I can't record because I've got a terrible computer. Well, I'm back with Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Or, well, it's technically Sonic 3 Complete because that's the best way to play the game, even though it's a ROM hack and not an official release, but, well, that's the best way to play the game. The first thing Sonic 3 did, compared to Sonic 2 that is new, is introduce a save system. That's pretty sweet. It makes lives and continues kind of pointless, but whatever. Yeah, I had this weird file on here that was already started. It was just the first zone with nothing done. I don't know why that was there, but it let me show off the delete feature, so whatever. We're about to be introduced to our new character, Knuckles. He's so badass, he can punch the Chaos Emeralds out of Super Sonic. Which is good, because I didn't have them at the end of 2. I don't know where Sonic got those. Bonus episodes aren't canon. Well, this is going to be a lot to get out of the way in a short amount of time, because this is a really fast-paced thing, because it's a Sonic game, but special stages work a little differently. There are several giant rings scattered throughout the stages, and you just have to find them to get to a special stage. In the special stage, as you can see, you're on a giant sphere that is covered in smaller spheres. There's blue ones, red ones, and, well, bumpers. Those are bumpers right there. Your objective is to touch blue spheres. Doing so turns them into red spheres, and you're supposed to avoid red spheres or you lose immediately. You can get a buttload of points by perfecting the stage by getting all the rings. You do this by walking around the perimeter of a bunch of blue spheres. That turns them into rings. And then you get a bonus life and a bonus continue, you know, in a game that has a save state. Or a save system, not a save state. Those are different things. I do go for the perfects in the first 7 special stages. I'll go into that number later. Because it's fun. You know, the continues are pretty pointless, but it's fun to try and get perfects in the first 7. Oh, whatever. I'll go into it now. Yeah, there's 14 special stages overall. One group of 7 for the Chaos Emeralds, and a second group of 7 to turn them into the Super Emeralds. This was because Sonic 3 and Knuckles had to be split up into 2 games because of time constraints and file size, I think. Which prompted Sega to, like, create a brand new, like, cartridge type that can lock together to play both games at once, which is what Sonic 3 and Knuckles is. It's Sonic 3 combined with Sonic and Knuckles to make one game, one complete game. It's a little more complicated than that, but I don't know the best way to explain it right now. Just to understand, they made one game, but had to split it up into 2. We're currently in the Sonic 3 portion. The Sonic and Knuckles portion will come later. Sonic 3 Complete changes something, or it has the option to change something, and I totally played with that option, but... Oh, in addition, another new thing Sonic 3 brought was little bonus games, little mini-games. There's 3 types. This is the slot machine, because... Of course, it's going to give me the option of a slot machine. And of course I'm going to take that option. Yeah. No, I waste a lot of time doing these, but I try to cut out the ones that aren't so interesting. Like, I show each one off at least once. And then after that I'll cut out anything that isn't interesting. Which, I actually don't know the percentage of that. I figured I'd get done boring you with the slot machine, though, and just move on with the game. Back to Angel Island Zone. It's nice, not Green Hill Zone. So Sonic 3 actually comes with a story. At the end of Sonic 2, you'll remember we destroyed the Death Egg. Well, when we destroyed it, it didn't quite blow up. It kind of just fell and crash landed onto an island called the Floating Island. The Floating Island, of course, floats high above the clouds. And due to its small size, that was an impressive shot to make. Like, it's very improbable that we could actually pull that off, but whatever, we did. And this caused the floating island to crash into the sea. Sonic and Tails came here to investigate, and Dr. Robotnik is actually here too. Not just to reclaim the Death Egg, but he's here on another mission. We'll find out more about that later. Knuckles is on Robotnik's side because Robotnik convinced him he's a good guy and that Sonic was the bad guy. He doesn't get much social contact, so I guess he just trusted the first person to come along, and he's kind of our enemy for now. But he's not a bad guy. He's actually a really good guy. He's just been tricked. It's really unfortunate, too, because, you know, Knuckles is such a cool character, but for whatever reason, Sega would just latch onto this idea of him being tricked, and from now on, he'll just gradually become dumber and more easily duped, instead of what we see in this game, where he's actually quite clever and crafty. Like, he sneaks around, constantly trapping us, and, you know, pulling tricks and whatnot to try and halt our progress, because, well, that thing that Robotnik is here for is the Master Emerald, which kind of controls all the Chaos Emeralds. Knuckles is its guardian. He thinks we're here for that. It's a whole different thing. It sounds really silly now that I'm saying it out loud. And I just said all that over a special stage, but, you know, these aren't complicated yet, so I don't really need to say anything different. I'm in a weird mood right now. I don't know if you could tell or not. It's been like 2 months since I've done this sort of thing, so I'm just kind of getting back into the groove. But anyway, it's called the Floating Island, not Angel Island. Angel Island is just the zone we're in right now. Important distinction. Not everybody knows the difference. Oh, so shields. It's no longer like the typical shield. Now there's like elemental shields. There's the bubble shield, which I just had. It lets you breathe underwater. And it lets you do that bounce attack that you've been seeing me doing. This is the lightning shield. It's the best shield in the game because it gives you a double jump. Makes you immune to electricity, which isn't very much a big thing. And it magnetizes rings to you, which is handy. The one that I looked at was the fire shield. It's the worst shield in the game. I'm going to just admit that. It's, you know, fire shield. That's going to be cool, right? It's fire. No, not really. It gives you a really awesome dash attack, and it makes you immune to fire, but that's it. Like, it's not really that great at all. Just trust me. You'll see it before the end. I use it a couple times, but... So this is the first special stage that in order to get the perfect in, you're gonna have to go out of your way and do some really weird stuff. Like, you can't just go through the level. Like, this is the first one that has requirements to a perfect. You'll see what I mean when I get there. But it's actually a really easy one to do without getting the perfect. Like, it's easy to get the perfect. It's just... This one you can do pretty mindlessly. It's just a single path, so... It's... In theory, it's the most boring one, but I like the color palette because it's like orange cream, like popsicle stuff. I don't know what I'm trying to exactly say. Like an orange creamsicle, that's what they're called. And those taste good, so I like this stage because it reminds me of those. We're coming up on it. Okay, so in order to get the perfect, you have to jump over that one. Because if you turn all of these last ones into rings before you get the rings, it ends without you collecting the rings. So, in order to get the perfect, you do have to leave a trail that you cannot turn into rings so that you can get all those rings and get that perfect. But I'm still in this first stage and have 3 emeralds. Sonic 3 is an easy game. Like I was saying in Sonic 2, it used to be my favorite because it was the easy one. This was the one that I could really get the emeralds in, and it was never too much of an issue. I've got a bit of a complicated history with this game that I'll go into later, I think. You know, maybe when I've run out of things to say. I'm just getting a little secret up here, that's why I'm doing this. I don't remember how I discovered this, but it was one of the first things I discovered when I was a kid. I remember that distinctly. No, I know this game pretty well because I played a lot when I was a kid, so... Well, actually, let's go into that little complicated history. I've got nothing to say right now. So when I was a kid, I only owned Sonic 3 and not Sonic and Knuckles. I wouldn't actually play the Sonic and Knuckles part until I was out of high school by that point. So I was like 19 or something when I played it on the Sonic Mega Collection for the GameCube, which is the greatest Sonic game ever made. No, Fire Shield. I still don't want you. No, so I'm really good at the Sonic 3 half of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but I had to practice the shit out of the Sonic and Knuckles portion of Sonic 3 and Knuckles before I was comfortable playing it. And I'm kind of happy with how it turned out, like, but I do need to warn you something. One of my many gripes with Sonic 3 and Knuckles is that it drags. Like, I don't mind playing Sonic 3 so much, because the longer levels don't matter as much because there's only, like, 6 of them. So it's still a short game overall. Sonic 3 and Knuckles really drags, so I get, like, really tired of it after just a little while, meaning that I took breaks during this playthrough. And I didn't use the save system, I just kind of used save states, so yeah, there's a couple points where it's gonna be obvious that I stopped playing for a while. Sorry if that makes things a little too artificial for you. I'll try and point out where those 2 breaks occurred, but... well, I'll stop talking about it for now anyway. Because we're coming up to the boss of the first level. Yeah. 14 minutes in and we're still in the first level. I mean, granted I went after, you know, Chaos Emeralds, but we're about to see Dr. Robotnik again. In his latest lame contraption. I picked up the Fire Shield because this guy has fire attacks. He's already pathetically easy, now I'm immune to his one attack. He's no problem. They put that Fire Shield right there, so... that's why I got it. Figured I'd show it off here as well anyway. But with that, we're at the end of, Level 1, Angel Island, so here's Knuckles to send us to Level 2. I'll see you then and there. Have a good day, everybody.